Number
half a
two,
ladder.
I saw this brother average better than 25 in the playoffs last year. Now he's advanced past the first round in his third
22.
season. Let me say this. 22 years old, advanced past the first round.
Despite only playing for the Memphis Grizzlies for 4 seasons, Ja Morant is proving himself worthy of becoming the club's greatest player. Ja Morant also deepened the triple-double record, 3 out of 10, in the entire history of the Memphis Grizzlies. Up to now, the 23-year-old defender has had 7 successful triple-doubles, while the previous record of the Memphis Grizzlies was only twice. With the presence of Ja Morant, the Memphis Grizzlies have a player who can represent both form and image for the club. Even the Memphis Grizzlies can fully dream of a championship, with Ja Morant and the leader to lead the club. Morant is considered one of the players with the potential to become a superstar representing the NBA after the generation of LeBron James, Steph Curry, or Kevin Durant. The 23-year-old star attracts many young fans, thanks to his beautiful play, dedication, and extraordinary mobility. Therefore, the American sportswear giant, Nike, decided to choose Morant as Kyrie Irving's replacement. The Brooklyn Nets star was terminated by Nike after scandals off the field. The climax was the recent anti-Semitism. Nike decided Morant to fill the void left by Irving, and the shoe brand bearing his name. Morant is the replacement for Irving because of the 30-year-old star's off-field scandals. However, not long after becoming a representative star, it was Morant's turn to be entangled in controversies outside of basketball. Ja Morant has been involved in many scandals off the football field, all related to violence and guns. These are the top 4 Ja Morant cases that changed his career forever. In the summer of 2022, after the season, Morant was accused of threatening a mall security guard. Last summer, the head of security at a department store in the Memphis area claimed that he was loudly threatened by Ja Morant when the two exchanged words in the parking lot. A security guard at the mall was threatened with a beating by Morant, and many others after the two sides exchanged words about making noise in the parking lot. "Let's see what time you make it, and we'll see each other," is what the mall security heard from Morant. According to Molly Hensley Clancy of the Washington Post, the head of the security at a Memphis mall filed a police report saying Morant threatened him during an altercation in the parking lot. The guard said that somebody with Morant shoved him in the head. It was reported that Morant's mother got into an altercation with a mall employee and called Morant, who showed up with a group of as many as 9 other people. A member of Morant's group of friends had an impact on the head of the other security department, prompting him to report the incident to the police. No fines were issued, but the police department recorded the collision. The next case that we have is just a month ago, when the Grizzlies have a match with Indiana Pacers. In February, the NBA investigated an incident involving a vehicle carrying Indiana Pacers players that were lasered from the side of Morant's bus. The Indiana team said the laser came from a gun, and Ja Morant refused to speak about the incident. A week later, members of the Indiana Pacers believed they were threatened by a gun and Morant was involved. During a January game against the Indiana Pacers, at least one friend of Morant appeared to get into a verbal altercation with players. Davonte Pack, the same friend accused of also punching the teenager at Morant's house, was seemingly ejected from his seat. According to The Athletic, acquaintances of Morant confronted members of the Pacers near their team bus after the game. A verbal altercation lasted for nearly 20 minutes, according to the report. Morant then entered one of the vehicles belonging to the group. Employees of the Pacers say they then saw a red laser coming from that car pointed at them. After an NBA investigation, they concluded that there was a confrontation, but that they could not corroborate that any individual threatened others with a weapon. For third place is the case of threatening a 17-year-old boy that also involved by his friend, Davonte Pack. Only 4 days after being accused of threatening mall security, Ja Morant was once again caught in another case, related to threatening a 17-year-old boy while playing basketball at his home. According to TMZ Sports, Ja Morant was officially sued after assaulting a 17-year-old boy. The alleged assault occurred on July 26th at Morant's home in Ids, Tennessee. According to the victim's testimony, Morant punched him in the face, causing him to fall to the ground, and intended to continue if he was not dissuaded. Morant's close friend, Davonte Pack, is also on the list of defendants in this fight. The cause of the incident came from an argument between Morant and the victim during a street basketball game. The Grizzlies star couldn't keep his cool after being hit in the face with a basketball. The 17-year-old said it was accidental, while Morant insisted it was intentional. According to Morant, the opponent actively approached him and was ready to fight. He affirmed that the act of punching the opponent in the face was a legitimate self-defense. At the same time, it was confirmed that the guy had threatened to burn Morant's house before leaving. The police are currently investigating, but the district attorney refuses to prosecute the case. Although the incident of assaulting a minor is not serious, it will certainly affect Morant's image. The context of the recently released Ja 1, this is not good news for Nike and Morant personally. Punches a 17-year-old boy 12 to 13 times while playing basketball at home, information confirmed by the Washington Post. Morant said he was only defending himself, and the young victim reported to the police that Ja had a gun in the back of his pants to threaten him. The family of the 17-year-old man accused Ja Morant and his friends of violence and threats with guns. However, this young man was the first aggressor, specifically before the headshot took place. Information from many parties shows that the 17-year-old boy confronted Morant and showed signs of temper. The two sides trash talk and exchange words during the competition. The overflow is the act of throwing a very strong ball toward Morant when performing a check ball, which is a light pass. Security cameras showed that Morant was approached harshly, so he defended by hitting back. As for Ja Morant, he reacted a bit too much and confirmed his behavior. Ja told police that the young man had repeatedly intended to harass him and trash talk while playing basketball. Although he admitted hitting people, Morant said it was still an act of self-defense. However, police confirmed that Ja entered the house and came out with a gun. The police agency received a total of 2 charges against Ja Morant. Both were involved in violent behavior, and the Grizzlies player had to appear twice for investigation. Regarding the case of the 17-year-old youth, the police have summoned witnesses to gather more information. However, no one appeared, but the 3 people directly involved in the incident. So, the police ended the investigation due to insufficient evidence. We will go to the last case, which is the most famous case that changed his career these days. Ja Morant appears on his live stream with the gun in his hand. The 24-year-old defender had just experienced a huge scandal related to guns and is facing a wide investigation from the NBA. During an intimate party with friends, Ja Morant posted a live stream of the party on his personal Instagram. However, the Memphis Grizzlies defender used a gun to pose for a few seconds in front of the camera. This image immediately went viral on social media, with most of the criticism directed at Ja Morant. The country allows the use of guns, but that does not mean that Ja Morant is allowed to do such actions, especially in the age of the internet that affects young people like today. Immediately, the NBA said they would open a wide-ranging investigation into Ja Morant. The fact that an NBA star uses a weapon even to pose is prohibited. In the latest announcement, the Memphis Grizzlies said they will suspend Ja Morant for at least the next 2 matches to serve the investigation. However, the 24-year-old defender could take a longer break than expected. Memphis Grizzlies coach Taylor Jenkins said, "We will give Ja Morant at least 2 games off. However, this is going to be an ongoing healing process. It's really not a timetable situation. We're taking this very seriously. It is known that the state of Colorado allows the possession of personal weapons, but it is only a crime if caught knowingly using it in a state of uncontrollable behavior and endangering others. With no incriminating evidence, Ja Morant escaped the criminal sentence hanging over his head." Ja Morant also apologized to the team, teammates, family, and fans. He said he will accept all responsibility, as well as the penalty that the NBA gives later.
But I take, full responsibility, for my actions. Made a, bad mistake, and I can see that.
Morant's off-court troubles seemingly began when he appeared to threaten somebody on Twitter. Late in the 2021-22 season, there were some fans trying to bring him down a notch. Despite his injury, Ja Morant stays active on social media, cheering on his team from Twitter and the sidelines. In response to one troll's commentary regarding his back and forth with Warriors guard Jonathan Kuminga, Morant appeared to threaten the fan. Just as Morant was becoming the NBA's latest superstar, he got into a war of words on Twitter with somebody who appeared to be trolling him over a woman he was dating. In a now-deleted tweet, Morant responded with the statement, "It's free to see hollow feels." In the end, he deleted his tweet. Through the above incidents, we can see that Ja Morant, despite being very upset on the football field, is always entangled in clutter outside, and that greatly affects his playing career. Even if every case is resolved amicably, fans have had bad prejudices about Ja Morant. With the latest incident, Ja Morant's image will deteriorate a lot in the eyes of the fan. It will be difficult for him to regain his career, and the brands will gradually turn away from him.